duals of spaces. So already we have defined what is a dual space. Dual space is nothing but the set of all bounded linear functional from a non-linear space to its scalar field, which can be either be R or C. Now the Ries theorem states that every bounded linear functional on a Hilbert space H can be represented as f of y equal to inner product y comma z for some z belonging to H. Now this z is uniquely determined for a given f. So for a given linear functional on a Hilbert space, we can give a element z, and clearly for any element of z we can define a linear functional. If we fix z, we can define a linear functional on H. So this correspondence is 1-1 onto correspondence. And also we can see that norm z equal to norm f. So this correspondence is not only a 1-1 onto correspondence, but it is also a isometry. So this defines an isometry from H to H star, and this correspondence is also linear. That is, if f is go to some z and g is another linear function going to some z dash, then alpha f plus beta g goes to alpha z plus beta z dash. So this correspondence is also linear, and therefore H is isomorphic or isometrically isomorphic to H star. And therefore in Hilbert space we have a very special situation where the dual of a Hilbert space is itself. So H is isomorphic to H star, and H star is isomorphic to H double star, that is a second dual of H, and therefore H is isomorphic to H double star. And so we have that H is reflexive, that is, every Hilbert space is reflexive. So all Hilbert spaces are reflexive, but there are also other non-linear spaces other than Hilbert space that are reflexive. Okay, so every Hilbert space is reflexive. And another result is, for a non-linear space X, X star is separable, then X is separable. Okay. So the result says that this result contains the dual space and separability. It says that if X star is separable, then X is separable. So this is the result which is used to find whether a space is separable or not. So what are the duals of common Banach spaces? R power n with P norm. The dual of R power n with P norm is R power n with Q norm, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q equal to 1. So already we have seen for P equal to 2, the dual is itself, because 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 equal to 1, dual is itself. For example, if we take P equal to 3, then 1 by Q is equal to 2 by 3, then Q equal to 3 by 2. So for P equal to 3, Q equal to 3 by 2, and therefore for any P norm defined in R power n, the dual is R power n defined with a Q norm. So P and Q are duals. Similarly, we can see the same pattern in the LP spaces. That is, the dual of LP is LQ, and vice versa. Dual of LP is LQ and dual of LQ is LP. So LP spaces, we have this special property where the dual of LP is LQ, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q equal to 1. And so what happens is, the dual of LP is LQ and the dual of LQ is LP, so which implies that LP double star, that is the double dual of LP, is isomorphic to LP, and hence LP is reflexive for 1 less than P less than infinity. So we have all LP spaces are reflexive for 1 less than P less than infinity. And what about the spaces L1 and L infinity. So we cannot apply this for L1 and L infinity. Separately we have to show that whether what is the dual of L1 and whether L1 is reflexive or not. So now we are going to show the dual of L1 is L infinity, because we cannot apply the result dual of LP is LQ, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q equal to 1, because if you apply P equal to 1, then Q is not a finite number. Therefore separately we have to show that what is the dual of L1, whether it is L. So first we will show that dual of L1 is L infinity. So we take an element in L1, and any element in L1 can be given in terms of a Schauder basis, that is summation k equal to 1 to infinity alpha k ek. Then applying f of x, we have f of x equal to summation k equal to 1 to infinity alpha k vk, where vk equal to f of ek. So modulus of vk equal to modulus of f of ek, which is less than or equal to norm f into norm ek, which is equal to norm f, because norm ek equal to 1. So modulus of vk is less than or equal to norm f, which implies supreme of mod vk is less than or equal to norm f, which implies vk is in L infinity. So we have shown that for each x in L1, if you define f of x, then vk, that which is equal to f of ek, then f of vk lies in L infinity. So we have associated an element vk in L infinity for each linear functional on L1, because we have taken f as a linear functional on L1, and we have associated for each such linear functional f an element vk in L infinity. Conversely, for each vk in L infinity, suppose we take a sequence in L infinity, we can define a linear function, that is g of x equal to summation k equal to 1 to infinity alpha k bk. So for each element in L infinity also we can define a linear functional g of x equal to k equal to alpha k bk, where x equal to alpha k belonging to L1. Then we can show that g is linear. G is linear, so g is linear and also bounded, because modulus of g of x is less than or equal to summation summation modulus of alpha k bk, which is less than or equal to supreme of modulus of bk into summation modulus of alpha k, because bk belonging to L infinity, therefore supreme of bk exists, so we can take the supreme of bk outside the summation, so which is less than or equal to norm x into supreme of bk, because summation alpha k is nothing but norm x. So finally we have modulus of g of x less than or equal to norm x into supreme of bk, and therefore g is bounded and is also linear, and hence g is a bounded linear functional on L1 and g belongs to L1 star. So there is a 1-1 correspondence between any linear functional on L1 and elements of L infinity, and this correspondence is 1-1 on 2. Further we have modulus of f of x less than or equal to summation mod alpha k mod vk, which is less than or equal to supreme of mod vk into norm x, and hence norm f less than or equal to infinity norm of v. So the modulus of the linear functional is less than or equal to infinity norm of v, where v equal to vk. Already we have proved that norm v is less than or equal to norm f. Already we have proved the supreme of modulus of vk less than or equal to norm of f in the previous discussion, and therefore now we have norm f equal to infinity norm of v, and therefore this correspondence is also an isometry correspondence. Therefore, the dual of L1 is L infinity. In other words, the dual of L1 is isomorphically isometric to L infinity, and so we can say that the dual of L1 is L infinity. Now we are going to check whether L1 is the dual of L infinity, because if L1 is the dual of L infinity, then we can say L1 is reflexive, or if it is not, then we can say it is not reflexive. But now we are going to say that L1 is not a dual of L infinity, because suppose we assume that L1 is a dual of L infinity, then since L1 is separable, L infinity should also be separable, because we know the result. If X star is separable, then X is separable. If X star is separable, then X is separable. So if L1 is equal to L infinity star, and since L1 is separable and L infinity star would be separable, and that would imply L infinity is also separable, which is not true. So now we can see here how we are able to use separability and say that L1 is not the dual of L infinity, and hence L1 is not reflexive. Of course, L infinity is also not reflexive, because the actual dual of L infinity will be larger than L1. In other words, the actual dual of L infinity is not a direct space, it's a constructed space which will contain L1 as a isomorphic copy. So L1 is not reflexive. And what is the dual of other spaces? So dual of C0 with P norm. Dual of C0 with P norm is LQ, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q equal to 1. Because dual of C0, we know that completion of C0 under P norm is LP. LP is the completion of C0 under P norm. So we can say that any linear functional on LP is also a linear function on C0 also. If we take any two different linear function on LP, it will also be a different linear function on C0, because C0 is dense in LP. C0 is dense in LP. So if we have a element in LP such that f of x not equal to g of x for two linear functionals, then we can also find elements of C0, which is y such that f of y not equal to g of x, because C0 is dense in y. For any element x in LP, we can find a element y in C0 such that x and y are arbitrary closer to each other. And also dual of C0 with infinity norm is L1. So already we have seen that dual of L1 is L infinity, but dual of C0 with infinity norm is L1. But dual of L infinity is not L1, but the subspace, the dual is C0 is the subspace of L infinity, and that dual is L1. So this is also a very interesting result, and hence dual of C0 is also L1, because C0 lies between C0 and L infinity, and hence dual of C0 is also L1. So these are the results containing the duals. And also C0 is a incomplete nonlinear space whose completion is C0. Therefore dual of C0 is L1, and C0 is a completion of C0. And dual of L infinity is isomorphic to a space that contains L1. So dual of L infinity is not any known spaces. It is a space which contains L1. Since L2 of A comma B or L2 of 0 comma 1 is a Hilbert space, L2 is a reflexive space. So dual of L2 is itself, and L2 is a reflexive space. And here also we can see that the dual of LP is LQ. Dual of LP is LQ. So we can see the same type of results. Dual of LP is LQ, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q equal to 1. And similarly, since the dual of small L1 is small infinity, L infinity, and here also we have the same result. Dual of capital L1 is capital L infinity, and the dual of capital L infinity is larger than capital L1. And here also we have that capital LP spaces are reflexive only when 1 less than P less than infinity. So capital LP is reflexive if and only if 1 less than P less than infinity. So what's the dual of C of AB under supranorm? So dual of C of AB under supranorm is a separate space, that is set of all bounded variations. So bounded variations of AB, that is a separate space. It consists functions of all bounded variations whose norm is defined by norm G equal to supreme of summation I equal to 1 to n modulus of G of xi minus G of xi minus 1, where supremum is taken over all the partition P of closed interval AB. So dual of C of AB is the space of all bounded variation functions on closed interval A comma B, and also C of AB is not a reflexive space. So the reflexive space is a very important characterizations of Banach spaces. So we are able to see that what are the different characterizations of nonlinear space for a finite dimensional or infinite dimensional, and among the infinite dimensional we can have a complete nonlinear space, an incomplete nonlinear space, and also we can have Banach spaces that are separable and not separable. And finally we have also seen that more important the class of all reflexive Banach spaces.